Yeah, this is the address where a lot of my childhood abuse happened. 101 WALM Lane. We used to live up here in this floor. And that flat right there. Right about here, there was like a bird bath. And I got such a bad beating that I jumped up on that windowsill. Didn't have double glazing back in them days. And I jumped up on that windowsill and I was really contemplating jumping out the window to save myself. As a little boy, probably would have killed me. Or messed up my bones bad. I was sitting on this doorstep, like this. And I had this little black cat called Fluffy and I was playing with the cat. And right across that road, right opposite, a boy stood. And he was looking left and right. And looking to wait for the traffic to go past, to come and cross over. And he crossed over the road and kept coming, walked through the gate and kept walking straight up this path. Never said anything to me. And when he got to about here, he just kicked me in the face. And my cat ran off and I held my mouth and he just walked off casually, looked left and right and walked off down that way. And that kind of shaped my mistrust for people, and not just adults. Now I had a lot of mistrust for young people as well. This boy, they were called the McCarthys. All the brothers used to chase me and beat me. One time I was walking down, coming from the store, and he came out of nowhere and was like, "Oh, you alright?" And he put his arm around me like that, and then punched me in the thing and made my face bloody. So, yeah. But I remember when I used to be let out to play, I would get 2 bits of white bread, put some ketchup on it, and that was my lunch. And this is where I used to play to kind of stay away from people on my own. And I think you'll get the kind of gist of how small I was. That's if these are still open. And I used to run up and down these alleyways that are at the back of these houses. I think it's still there. Yeah, it is. Yeah, so this is the alleyway that I would play in. And you can see how tight it was, but for me it was a really big space. A lot of stray cats to play with and stuff. Let's see if I can remember where the back of my house was. Watch out for human poo. Can't really see from here. But I think this was my garden. One of these was my garden. But anyway, if you look over there, one of those windows was my bedroom, and I used to open that window, and then people downstairs had kind of like this plastic roofed, corrugated roof extension. And I would climb up my window and balance on the extension like this, on the bits of wood, and then jump down and then run away down here after a beating and stuff. So this goes all the way around. And I'd run round here, steam down here. And I was always in these alleyways, you know. And if I got hungry, I would jump in one of the gardens and nick some apples. There was a lot of stray dogs back in the day as well, so you never knew if you'd bump into a dog, you know. And I'd come up this way, so I could avoid people completely. See? And then it carries on. I can just run across here and avoid people. And then I'll run down this alleyway and it will go all the way up to the top. And sometimes I'll take my cat Fluffy and carry it all the way there. And then the cat would want to go home, so I just let it go and then race it back. Race the cat back to the house. And then she sat me in that bath. And I couldn't get my breath because I was breathing like this, and she sat me there. And then she came into the bathroom and proceeded to beat me with this thing called a Reilly, like a plastic one. And she's beating me with that, and then taking my head and pushing me under the water. And yeah, I don't know what happened. I think I jumped up at the side of the bath and kicked her and escaped past her and ran down this road naked all the way to the police station, and ran in there and said to the sergeant, put me in the children's home, because my mum was always threatening to put me in the children's home, to send me away. And I begged him to put me in the children's home, and then the police brought me back to my mother, gave me a stern telling off and not to give my mum any problems. And when the police left, my mum said to me, get back in the bath, with a strange look on her face. I took off out the door again, and I went down to this place called Gladstone Park, and I tried to stay there, and I said to myself that I'm going to be like Tarzan, and I'm going to live there forever in the trees and nobody's going to find me. So it's nice to revisit this place again. Whole. Because situations like the few situations I've just told you about can destroy somebody for life, you know what I mean? And make you change your perception of your shape, your value. And then that can decay you internally, that lack of value in your decisions, and how you live your life, what you consume, how you sleep, and slowly, slowly just, those memories are like a cancer and you physically decompose. So I'm back here, fully alive, spitting in the face of that place. And I remember there was a young couple that was in the park, I think, you know, having relations or whatever, and they walked past me and I heard the girl say, "Is that a coat? Is that a coat?" And then she went, "Oh, it's a little boy." And then she came and sat with me, put my head on her lap, and she was rubbing my head. She goes, "You can come home with me, don't worry." And I remember her hands were shaking. And then the police came, and then they told them off, said they shouldn't be in the park, they have to go away. And then again, they took me back to my abuser, you know. But so, this was the park bench that Johnny used to stay on. It was safer here than at home.